Hi guys, just getting set up. I'm behind the 8-ball today. I hope everybody's doing good. So this is part 2 of the Gnome Tumbler. I did the part 1 the other day. And I actually did a couple of them. So I've got one on a turner, and then I glittered one. And this one I'm actually starting. So I'm going to work on that with you guys today and just kind of show you the process and talk to you about other things that I think I forgot in the last one. So I had a couple of people message me about after you get your cup all, you know, with the clay on it and you have your gnome design, that, you know, what do you do? And I guess I forgot, I forgot to go over the baking instructions. So I want to hit that real fast. So when you're doing your cup and you are doing the bake method with the Sculpey Clay, you need to bake your cup, and there's really some kind of specific ways that you're going to do that. So this is one of them. So stinking cute, isn't he? Oh my gosh, I love these guys so much. They're like my favorite thing, but I have like a ton of new ideas to do different like style ones. So and other kinds of 3D stuff. So I'm going to be doing more things with you guys. So once you get your design on however you want, with as much stuff as you want to have on it, you know, if you're going to put hair on it for girl gnomes, or do the handle, you know, once you get all your clay onto your tumbler, first thing I found out is it's way easier to work on a sanded. Hi guys, hi everybody that just popped in. Work off a sanded tumbler that's not spray painted. And what happens is first of all, it's not going to stink in your oven, because you know, like the paint really smells kind of bad sometimes. And then when it's all baked, you're gonna get a cookie sheet, a piece of parchment, and put your cup or cups, however many cups that you want to do, down onto that baking sheet. Put it into your oven cold, and then turn the oven to 220. Let it heat up to, you know, so that it's heated up, and then bake it 20 minutes. Shut the oven off and leave the door closed and let it cool for between 2 and 3 hours. You want to make sure that the cup is really cool. Take it out, check it, make sure that your clay is, you know, like you shouldn't be able to pinch your clay and have it smish, particularly in the nose area. Usually the really thick parts are the problem areas, so you want to kind of pinch the nose a little bit. Don't pinch it too hard though, or you'll misshape it. If it's necessary, put it back in the oven. Same process, 220 in a cold oven. Turn it on, let it heat up, and then bake it for 20 minutes and shut it off. Do not cook it any more than that. If you don't want to ever cook the clay more than 20 minutes. I did, Melinda. I did it a couple of days ago. I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you, and I'll link it below. Yeah, it's there. I also have it on my YouTube channel. So a lot of people were having trouble finding the videos that I've been doing in the group. So what I did was I made a YouTube channel with every tutorial that I've done, and I'm just going to put them there. So it's just easy for people to be able to find them. So I'll definitely do that. Once you have your clay, like I said, once you have your cup all baked, that's when you want to decide your colors, right? Because like, hey, colors are cool. Except if you're working off of a stainless steel tumbler with just some clay on it, then you want to spray paint the whole thing. And that works really good. Like I was just so happy the way that it worked out. And just spray paint, you know, hang it upside down, spray paint it, let it dry. You want to wait probably 24 hours to degas and do all that good stuff, just the same way that you would a tumbler. And then you're ready to roll. So I like to paint all of my spots with acrylic paint, so that like when I put my glitter on, sorry, again, words issues. You put the glitter on and then you have the spots that show. And you can see like the stainless steel underneath or the white paint underneath. So that's why I kind of try and base coat whatever it is that I'm working on. This is actually an order for somebody. So they wanted a purple, and they didn't specify the hat color. So I have no idea. I think I'm probably going to do black. I'll do black for the hat. Because I think that'll look really cute. But that's really it. They're really fun to do. Don't let them intimidate you. Kristen Wart did a girl she was working on for the battle box, and I don't know if that's done yet. But I know she's going to post it when it is done, and I'm dying to see it because I haven't actually seen the girl one yet. So I'm hoping. So again, same process, guys. You need your glitter, you need your Mod Podge. I like to water mine down a little bit. Although I don't know what's up with this batch of Mod Podge that I got. It's like really watery for some reason. I don't know why it's so watery, but it's definitely waterier than normal. Not done. Ah, I hope it's done soon. I'm dying to see. I'm dying to see it. It's just like, it just looks so cute. So I think I'm going to do the hat in black. The nose, of course, will be the peachy, pinky color. So you can just use like plain old acrylic paint. And you don't have to put it on super thick. This is actually really good. I really like this one. This one's by Americana. I got it like a billion years ago. And it's the flesh tone, so it works super good for the noses. Oh, cool. Awesome. I can't wait to see it. It's like, I've been waiting. I'm not patient, though. I admit it. I'm just not a patient person. I just like, I want to see it. I want to know. I want to do all the things, you know. So I just start off and just kind of paint your areas. That's it. I mean, really, today is just kind of like, I said that I would show people how I do this. You know, whatever works. There's things that you can do and there's things that you can't do. It's like skipping steps really don't work with these. You have to bake it. You can use the DOS air dry clay, which I have done, but it takes like forever to dry. And again, I'm just not like, sometimes I am very patient, but sometimes I'm just not patient. I just want to get on to my next step. I want to get moving. And that for me is always an issue, is trying to manage my time and make sure that I'm getting all the stuff done that I need to get done. But now that I'm done with not doing any class stuff right now, so I will have plenty of time to do all the cool crafting things that I want to do. I don't know, what do you think? The bottom's dark purple. I don't know what, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know if it's going to be too dark if I do the hat black. She wanted purple. She wanted dark purple, she said, for the for the for the body. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, no problem. And then I asked her, I was like, well, what color do you want the hat? And she's like, I don't care. And I don't think red and purple go particularly good together. I just think it's weird. I don't want to do it white because the beard's going to be white. So if anybody has any ideas as we're going along here, like, let me know. So, I do, and I should, paint the beard too, if I don't knock my camera over. So definitely covering up your clay is good with the acrylics. You want to make sure you cover up everything. It's also going to seal your clay. So one of the things that I noticed when I was doing some of the other mugs that I had worked on is that I didn't seal them, with paint. And I just left the beard because it's white clay, right? I figured, oh, hey, I'm just gonna leave it. And I got like a billion air bubbles. I really wasn't too thrilled about that. So I think sealing it is important. You're gonna get less air bubbles as long as your stuff is all dry. And I always wait like 24 hours before I put my epoxy on, just to make sure. That's a lesson I learned the hard way a bunch of times, is that, like I said, I'm not the most patient person in the world, so I tend to get moving on things faster than I should, and then I end up dealing with like a bunch of problems. They always turn out good. I mean, I haven't had anything like totally turn out rotten, except for my adorable little gnome mug that I was working on, that I put on the turner this morning, which is the one that I think I did it in the tutorial. It's the one I posted the pictures of, the blue and the red one. And, well, guess what I did? I sealed like all my glitter, and then I went back in and I did my beard and I sealed my glitter. And I saw this spot down in the blue area that it just, I don't know what happened. I guess I just missed it. Maybe I was too tired or whatever, because that happens. So I put it on. I went to bed last night and I was like, oh, hey, I got to get that on the turner because, I have a bunch of cups that I need to turn and I only have a couple of turners. So I put the epoxy on, and the next thing you know, I've got blue glitter all in my white beard because it was like one little tiny, I mean, it was no wider than the edge of the paintbrush, like just a like little tiny line, and what a mess. So I got to figure out how to fix that now. I have no idea. I don't even know how I'm going to fix that, because I got blue glitter all through my beard and I have my first coat of epoxy on. So I know, Kristen, it's like, ugh, jeez, can't we just do all the things? Things should just go the way we need them to. I'm going to dry this off a little bit. I'm not going to worry about that white spot where I messed up. Again, I don't mind the videos where people actually see me make a mistake, because then you sort of see the mistake, you know that, you know how to fix it when I do it. So everybody is so busy right now. I mean, how are you guys getting like all your stuff done? Hopefully you're not still working on holiday orders. I'd be out of my mind if I still had holiday orders to do. Now I'm just having fun. Like I said, I got some really cool 3D ideas, so I'm going to try some different stuff. over the Christmas break and see what I come up with. Oh, that's a good idea. I don't, oh man, the glitter I used is such, you know, the coverage is so good on it that a little teeny tiny bit, it was the blueberry, what's the number, 107 blueberry, and the coverage is like intense for such a tiny little bit, and it just like, just spread through the whole beard, and I was just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But then I figured, you know, I'll just cover it up. I'll just cover it up. All right. I still have no idea what color to do this hat. I guess I'll just do that part afterwards. So I normally pick out all my glitter ahead of time. And like I said, I was so behind the 8 ball today, and I looked at the clock and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be live right now. I gotta get on there. So I figured y'all wouldn't mind if I fiddled around and found stuff. What I'm doing. I love this this purple, so I guess I'll do. Trying to find my eggplant. I have like this humongous bin of I've been putting stuff all in shaker jars the last couple of days, which is like, that's not a lot of fun. How do you get all the glitter out of the bag? Like, it dries. Does it drive you crazy when you're transferring over your glitter and you still have glitter in the bag and you can't get it out? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm not a big like fan of wasting stuff, and it's like, how am I going to get all that out? I have to quarantine. Definitely unexpected. Oh wow, oh wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. You quarantining? Ugh, that stinks. Yeah, this virus needs to be like gone. It needs to go away. Totally needs to be gone and go away. All right. I found too that when doing this, that watering down my Mod Podge really makes a big difference for my coverage on here, and I like it. It also helps me to get a lot of the paint, the brush strokes out. Put it in the freezer. Really? Huh. That's weird. Okay, I'll try it. I will try it. Because it drives me crazy. I always feel like I might need that glitter. I'll be working on something and run out of, you know, whatever I have, and it'd be like, I need that glitter. I don't want to throw that away. It's not a lot. I'm sure it's not a lot. But then again, when you think about it, you don't need a lot of glitter to cover a cup. You really don't. It's like, it always surprised me when I was watching people, you know, like do the lives before I started doing cups last year. And I would watch them do it, and they'd like have the shaker and they're just pouring the glitter on and pouring the glitter on and pouring the glitter on. And it's just kind of like going all over the place. And then there's a big mound of it on their paper. And I was like, well, what? You know, it seems kind of weird. And then I started making them, and I was totally blown away at how little glitter it actually takes to do a cup. All right. See how this is gonna go. This color is really pretty. Like, wow. This is the eggplant color. And I always have to work in the little sections. And oh, that's pretty. Can you see? It's really dark, like super dark. I like that. I hope she likes it. I mean, she did. I took pictures of the glitter and I showed it to her and she was like, she liked it. So I hope. Now, I always tend to work out of the shaker or out of the jar. Wow, it looks like actually there's like maybe a little black in there too. I don't know for sure. Looks good. Anyhow. Only when people do epoxy method with way too much epoxy. Oh, I know. Drives me crazy. And has there been like, I don't know, not in this group, but in a couple of the other groups I'm in, it seems like people like are asking like the most bizarre questions that to me is like, why would you even ask that question? I don't know. It's just, there's something in the air going on. I don't know what it is. I think people have been trapped in their houses like way too long and they're losing their common sense. Like, they ask the same question. You know, you're like 15 people asking the same question when it's already been answered. Doesn't anybody read what's going on in the groups anymore? I don't know. It's crazy to me. So that's why when I answer, when I do the lives and stuff like that, I'll answer like questions for people. And then after like the 10th time I answer a question, I just kind of refer them back to the previous post. I hope that makes sense. So it's not to be rude or anything, but it's kind of like I've answered the question and I don't know why people can't find the answer. But yeah, unexpected appreciative of time was given. My son works for the post office at one of the up here in New Hampshire. And, well, up in New Hampshire. I'm not actually in New Hampshire. And I guess it's a real, yeah, it's a nightmare. So if y'all are worried about packages, stop worrying, because I don't know what's going to happen. It seems like the post office is just so backed up. Oh, that happened. I can't believe that just happened to you. It's not my day today. Should have given up this morning when I made the mistake with the blues. So. All right, so anyhow, what's everybody working on that's awesome? I have like so many projects that I want to do, and I just haven't had any time to do any of those projects. But now I want to spend some time, like I said, over Christmas break and do some like really awesome, fun stuff. I've been wanting to do a beach tray. Not a huge beach fan myself. I mean, I love the beach, but I'm not a huge fan of having a bunch of beachy stuff in the house. But I really want to do one. And I actually have a friend who is crazy about the beach. So I think it'll be a gift for them. But I've never done a beach tray before, and I'm a little nervous about trying that, because you know, like, you got to do shells and the whole wave thing, and waves are not the easiest thing to get. Has anybody done one? Yes, I did. I baked the clay. So there is a part 1 to the tutorial. And again, I'll link it up afterwards so that you guys see part 1 and part 2, and you know, you can kind of follow along. So you do need to bake your clay if you're using Sculpey. If you're not using Sculpey and you're using DAS air dry clay, then you have to wait like 48 to 72 hours really to get it good and dry, particularly the nose area, which is always the hardest part to dry because it's so thick. The nose is the thickest part. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I like the DOS clay too, though. Like I was saying, I really do. It's just a matter of timing. The other thing that I found, the differences in clays. So we're going to talk about that just for a minute. The Sculpey Clay I absolutely love. And the reason that I love it is because as you work with it, the more that you work with it, the smoother that it gets. And the problem with the DOS clay is because it's a rapid air dry clay, and they say that it's a rapid air dry clay even though it takes a long time to dry. It seems like, you know, it's like 2 days of drying. It starts to dry out when you're working with it. So first thing is you have to keep your hands wet when you're working with it. Secondly, you can use lotion on your hands. It even says on the instructions that you can use lotion with it, which is great. The problem that I run into with it is I don't like gloves. I absolutely hate wearing gloves. It drives me crazy. After I left the medical field years ago, I swore I would never wear gloves. And yes, I do wear them when I'm doing epoxy, but I hate them. And the air dry clay dries my hands out so bad that actually I was working with some the other day and my hands are all like cracked now. So that's the one kind of problem with it. And when you're trying to work with clay and you have gloves on, it doesn't work so well either. So I just find that the Sculpey Clay is like way easier to do. So there's this purple glitter. It's probably going to need, I no doubt need a second coat on there. I do the beard absolutely last. Like I will go through, I'll put all my colors on because anything that's white, I always wait on. I will seal the whole thing and then tomorrow I will put on the, I will do the white. So that's why, you know, rather than make that mistake that I made this morning where I had forgotten to seal the blue because it was sort of off my process that I normally do. So I will go back to doing my process the way that I said that I would. You know, I've always done it. I think that works. I don't know, what do you think? Orange, butterscotch. I don't think Amy's got this color, and I love this color. It's like my favorite like orangey. It's a orangey goldy color, and it's called butterscotch, and I just love this color so much. It's so pretty. Yeah, Joe, I do. It's like it's really like there's a lot of steps to it. So you have to put the clay on, you bake the clay, paint the clay, glitter the clay, and then you start the epoxy, and then you have to babysit it. So one of the things that I want to tell people is when you go to do one of these, first things first is you're going to put this onto your turner so that his face is up. And you're going to apply with your finger, you're going to apply your epoxy all to the face. And make sure that once you get that all on, then you can start your turner. I did it in sections where I, did my face, And then I just kind of moved the turner a little bit, epoxied all the way around. Then I turned it on. Once I had my epoxy on the entire thing, I put on really thin coat. What I notice is as it turns, because you have these joints underneath, you see where like the hat brim is and the nose, and there's kind of a little crevice, it will tend to pool up in there. So you do need to babysit it for like an hour. The clay doesn't absorb the epoxy. No, because you're going to seal it all, Joe. So here, let me show you. So I put the clay on. This tumbler's just sanded. And then I sanded, like really scratched up. Like I super ultra sanded it. I don't know if you can see like how scratchy that is, but I really sanded the heck out of it. Then I put the clay on it. Once I get all my clay on it, I'm going to bake it. Once I bake it, I'm going to spray paint the whole thing. So in essence, at that point, it's just like working on a regular tumbler, because you're working off of, you know, a spray painted base. And sometimes when I do my regular cups, I'll go in and I will color them, you know, with acrylic, which is what I like to, because I think it saves you time and energy. You don't have to keep going back over and over and over and over and over again. Ooh, what do you think of this? This is like a green and purple together. Do you think that's like too weird, guys? I don't know. I kind of liking that. That's the leprechaun color. I had to put it in another bag before I got my shakers. My cats have a tendency. I have two kitties, and one of my kitties, he's awful. What he does is he bites my bags. So my bags have all got like he'll dig them out of the bin if I don't put the lid on it and snap the lid shut. Yeah, I was kind of thinking so, Joe. I like it. Hey, thanks for those files last night. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. My friend is going to be super thrilled. Like, super thrilled. All right, so we'll base paint this hat green. I'm licking it. Hopefully I'm not going to mess it up. Let me hit this for a second with my embossing gun. Just dry it a little bit so I can touch it. These are so fun to make, Joe. You should try. You really should. Everybody should do it. They're not hard to do. Everybody gets so intimidated by anything that's not like one or two colors on a tumbler. And you don't need to have like, you know, you don't need to be a sculptor in order to be able to do this. The tutorial that I did on the one particular one that I did is super simple. Actually, I think I did this one on the tutorial. Oh, Mickey Mouse. Love me Mickeys. Love Mickey. But this was him. So he's super simple. Like, it's just the hat brim, the nose, and then the beard. And the rest of it is just a regular tumbler that you're just going to Mod Podge glitter. So, like, super fun, super cute. I'm going to put some weird things. I thought what I'd do is I'd come back in. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question, Mary. No, it won't. And the reason that it won't is because you are only baking it at 220 degrees which is the same temperature as a hot cup of coffee. Like boiling water. If you're going to boil water, you're going to put it into your tumbler. It's the same temperature. That's why you do not turn the oven up and you do not bake it any more than 20 minutes, because if you put coffee into your tumbler, it will stay boiling hot for approximately 20 minutes before it starts cooling off. So same principle. Thank you, Joe. You're the best. All kinds of people calling me. Of course, they only call me when I go live, right? Isn't that how that always goes? All right. So, green hat. So, I got this great green metallic. I love this. It's probably one of my favorite. This is by Deco Art, and it's a dazzling metallic. It is such a pretty green. You have to be really careful, Mary, with the oven. So you don't want to shock it. So what you want to do is you want to put it in a cold oven on a piece of parchment paper, not directly onto like a baking sheet. Put it on your parchment paper, put it in the oven, then turn your oven on and let the cup warm up, and don't take it right out of the oven. You want to shut your oven off after 20 minutes, and then you're going to just let it cool off naturally in the oven. It's kind of like a kiln, I guess you would say, where you don't want to break that seal until the stuff has cooled off, or it could potentially crack. So it's all thermogenics when you come right down to it. There's a lot of things that they'll say not recommended, but luckily I've had a little bit of experience with that, and I've never ever had a problem with my cups. You can even bake like other stuff in your oven that they say that you can't. You know, it's really helps because it speeds your process up rather than waiting like days for something to happen. So I'm not like super particular. I mean, you can be, guys, when you're doing this space painting. I mean, you know, you can be really meticulous, but honestly, it's not going to show. And the only reason that I'm doing it is because I'm using fine, like this fine glitter, and it sometimes will have a tendency, I don't know, it's like I see the white through it and it bothers me. If it doesn't bother you, then that's fine. It also saves me from having to go back in like 3 times and reapplying glitter, which kind of, it's like, hey, I did it once, maybe twice. I'm wasting time, and I'm all about work smarter, not harder. So that's kind of where my brain is. The other really reason that I like to do all my dark colors first and not do my white first is because if I make a mess, then it's really easy for me just to kind of take a little daub of white paint or you know, white glitter and go right over my spots. Don't forget to get your underneath your brim when you're painting, and also when you're applying your glitter, because it will show. And there is a ridge under there, so when you apply, when you watch the video for the application of the clay, you squish it up onto the tumbler, but the bottom part of it is actually hanging, so there's like a you know, like a curve that's going to happen. So you want to make sure that you try and get at least one side, either the top or the bottom. Generally I do the bottom, and I take my brush and I just kind of poke it up in there, You don't necessarily need to have glitter go up in there, but you do want to make sure that it's covered. And that's, again, another reason for base coating your cup. Then you don't need to worry about that because it would show. These are a lot of fun. You can be really creative. There was actually somebody, I don't know if it was in this group or the other group that I'm in, that actually she grabbed one of my tutorials, the first part of the tutorial that I did, and she went and she made her own cup, and it came out super good. I mean, super, super good. So that's why I double went over the baking instructions, because I just want to make that clear to people. Make sure that when you bake it, that you're baking it at no more than 220 and for no more than 20 minutes with the heat on. Shut it off, let it sit in the oven until it's completely cooled off, probably like between 2 and 3 hours. Usually at, like, I'll check it at 2 hours. I will open the oven and just kind of feel, if I still feel a lot of heat coming out of the oven, then I'll just, I quickly close the door and leave it. But generally at about 3 hours, I'll open the door and pull it out. If you've ever made a cheesecake, I guess that's kind of like a good way to think of it. It could crack. I've never cracked a tumbler. I haven't had a problem, although I have had problems if I've done glass. These are fantastic for drying acrylic paint really quick. It will speed up your time. Like normally this stuff takes probably, I don't know, 20 minutes to an hour to really, really dry good. And I can get this done in like no time flat now. So, really. All right. Also works really good for blowing off all the extra glitter. So then you have glitter all over the place. Like I can't walk through my house from one end to the other without having glitter all over me. All over my cats. Even if they're not in the workroom, they're glitter all over the cats. Glitter all over the floor. Glitter in every rug. I had to go someplace and I had glitter all over my face. People were looking at me like I was crazy. So, if there's some kind of video y'all want to see, or you need me to do again, or you have questions, please ask. Because I'm doing every Friday. So, and everybody has their own way to do stuff. It's kind of like, Joe does a great stained glass. I've been doing stained glass since September. I don't even know why I saw one and I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I do stained glass. And I love it. But his technique is so different than my technique, and his cups look like way better than my cups do. So I would not do a stained glass. That's probably the one that I won't do, because he's definitely the master. You're the master, Joe. Absolutely. All right, I think this is dry enough for me to, almost dry enough. Just give it one more minute to set. And I always do my bottom very, very last, so then I can grab a hold of it or have something to kind of spin my finger, when I'm turning the cup. Because if I have a lot of glitter on the bottom of it, it can tend to not be good. Not be good. All right. It's still a little tiny bit tacky. Let me grab my thing again. I think the metallics dry just a little bit slower. But this is basically all there is to it. It's rinse and repeat. Use your Mod Podge, put your put your stuff on, put your glitter on. You probably need a second coat on the body just because it's so big. And I noticed there's a couple of little streaks here. So I'll probably have to come back in and do a second coat on that. That's way better. Okay. Yay. All right. All righty. Sorry, I made a mistake. I totally botched up today. Oh my gosh, I'm making so many mistakes. I have 2 cups on my desk. I have a water cup, 2 water cups. One is for Mod Podge brushes, and I have like 3 paint brushes that I use. And of course, they're all blue. So I have like 3 that are specifically for Mod Podge only. And then the rest of them are for the acrylic paints. And don't you know that as I'm sitting here and I'm talking to y'all, I'm dumping them all into... to put them in the Mod Podge bucket. So I'll be getting some new ones. All right, so when I go to do the top part, what I do is I always start with the brim underneath part. And the reason is because this is kind of a pain in the neck. This is like the one... to me, the one pain in the neck part of this cup is this hat brim. Because you want to make sure that that glitter is going to really get down at least enough so that they're not going to see anything, you know, like white. And I did try to paint up in there because I took the brush and I poked it, but I'm noticing that there's still, I can still see the clay. So, okay, and I'm going to do half and then half. So the next thing, because I want to be able to touch this cup, I bring it around kind of the lip part. And just, you know, put it on fairly thick. I mean, you can see it's pretty, this is, like I said, this is watered down a little bit. But put it on fairly thick. Because you don't want to have to keep coming back and covering over and over and over again. You do want it to be kind of smoothed out. You know, see, got a little bit of brush stroke, but not like a ton of it. And then I wait, like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds or so, just so it starts to kind of set up and get tacky just a little bit, so my glitter really grabs a hold of it. All right. Trying to do this so you can see. The nose is actually a convenient turning tool. Again, personal choice. If you want to, you know, clean up in between. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just do like the whole color and then I come back in and empty my paper. I like to use parchment paper underneath when I'm putting my glitter on. And the reason is because I think that the parchment paper, it like knocks it off. Hi, Krista. No worries. It'll be here. And if you have trouble finding it, it's on my YouTube. It will be on my YouTube channel. So, you know, and all my PPM tutorials are there as well. So if you want to see anything that I've done, I have another of my plaids to do too, so that'll be fun. I'm like kind of excited about that because I haven't got to do one of those in a while, and they're one of my favorite cups to do. Actually, is I tape off the whole cup, and I don't use the double-sided sticky tape. I actually don't like double-sided sticky tape because I always make a mistake when I put it on and then I can't get it off. It's like the worst thing. I mean, it adheres so well. It really does. But I can't get it off my, if I make a mistake. Alright, so just gonna sprinkle. I always feel like I'm wasting glitter when I do this. I know I'm not, because, you know, we just tap it off and put it back in the bag, but it does feel like you're dumping out almost a whole bag of glitter. And you can do, I mean, I did on the last one, on the other half, I did the brim first. It really doesn't, I guess it doesn't really matter, as long as you're sure you're getting it. Now, once you're done, you just kind of let it dry and go back in if it's needed and add a second layer. Totally missed the spot here. Now, if you water down your Mod Podge, which I do like to do, I find it adheres just as well. That you want to make sure that it's not runny. If it's too runny and you put it on and you have like a big kind of drip of water going on there, it will mess up your glitter. So it's okay to have it thinned out, but you want to make sure that you don't have it too runny on the cup. That's I guess what I'm saying is, you know, like you don't want it dripping down your cup. Let's see what anybody's saying. All right. So everybody must have got bored. See, I've been on for too long. Everybody left. But it's a super fun cup, guys. Don't be intimidated by it. Take a look at the video that I did. I'm also doing part 1 again on Sunday in the Tumbler tutorial group. So if you want to catch it live, you absolutely can. It's going to be at 3 o'clock on Sunday for the clay part. All right. There he is. Isn't he cute? Now, I will wait until I get this good and dry before I do my next part. And the reason that I do that is because I don't want, I really don't want any of this. So what I actually, let me backtrack, sorry. I'm going to let this dry really good, and then I'll reapply any that I need to. Like if my purple area needs a little bit more in certain spots, or if my green area needs a little bit more in certain spot, I'm going to do that first because I want to do the dark colors first. Then I'm going to seal that. I'm going to seal the green and the purple really well so that it's not going to be shifting around on me when I have, because that's, like I said, it's messy, it's a pain in the neck, and it doesn't look good when it kind of, you know, you end up having like blue or green or purple glitter in your beard area. It just doesn't look good. So that's why I stop and I'll seal it. And then I will do the nose. Once the nose is done, I will seal the nose. And then, and only that, and then after, like I said, after everything else is sealed, then I will go and I will do the white. So it's totally worth doing because, again, like I said, you're not going to have that problem where you end up with a whole bunch of glitter in your cup. All right, so like this guy, I don't know if you can see. So when I put on the blue, I had done the nose. I painted the nose and then I applied the glitter to the nose. And what ended up happening was, I don't know if you can see in his nose, he has blue glitter. So I'm going to redo his nose, which I have my pink right here. And I will redo his nose. And then once his nose is dry, I will seal it, and then I will do his beard, because you can see like the beard actually has some glitter in it too. So, you know, and not the right color glitter. So that's why you want to make sure that you're sealing in between your colors, particularly from dark to light. It's worth your time to do. It's worth that extra couple of minutes or half an hour or whatever it takes for it to dry, because you're not going to have to keep going back in over and over and over again and redoing it. And I don't know about you, but me, I absolutely hate wasting time. Drives me crazy. And I've said a million times, I'm all about work smarter and not harder. So, you know, try it. If it doesn't work, awesome. And you find what does work, and that's what works for me. I hope it works for you. But don't be married to everything that I say either. I mean, you know, like if you're finding techniques that work for you better, by all means, go ahead and do it. The only one that you the only absolute about working with tumblers is you have to prep your cup. You have to. Like there's no ifs, ands, buts, maybes. Oh, gee, it works okay for me. I've done it a bunch of times. I haven't done it. It's fine. Well, you may not see it, but your customers will see it over use. So that's the one step. It has a great deal of purpose in sanding your cup. And what happens is when you have a stainless steel cup, so you have a brand new stainless steel tumbler, there is, and here I did this so you could see. Okay. This top 1/4 inch, you see how shiny that is? That's there. And then the under part here is where I sanded. I left this top part just so you could see, because I thought that was a really good contrast, and you can almost see like a line there. All right, so when they manufacture these cups, what they do is they put a sealant onto the cups, all of them. Like, it doesn't matter what shape it is, it has a seal over it. What it will do is it's there to protect the cup. It's there to help protect it from scratches and damage. But it also serves on a, when you're talking about thermogenics, that extra layer helps keep stuff hot in the inside. Now, by sanding it, what you're doing is you're taking that off. That surface that's there that they put on in the factory is there to repel things, keep them off. So you may be able to put your stuff on there, but over time the cup gets hot, it gets cold, it gets washed, even hand washing. What's going to happen is your customer one day is going to pick up their cup and they're going to drink out of their cup, and their thing is going to, you know, like your epoxy is going to fall off. It happens. It happens. It happens. And it might take a year. It might take 2 years, but it's important, guys. So I just lost a bunch more because then people get sick of me, but that's like my one lecture. So sand the cups. You don't always have to spray paint. You don't always have to, you don't have to. You really don't. Depends on what you're doing. Sometimes it works better if you don't. Like when I first started doing the clay cups, I always sanded and painted my cup just like I do. Oh, that's way better. Just like I do all the time. But I found for the baking purposes of the clay that it's actually better if it's just on a sanded tumbler. Because it adheres a little bit better. Plus, if you need to use any adhesives, if you're having problems with your clay, and that does happen sometimes, and I suppose I should mention that, when you're putting on clay, sometimes it just doesn't want to stick. If you're using just a tumbler that has that repellent on there, the chances of your clay actually adhering and baking into it, so you think about, you're smooshing that clay out. You're actually taking your clay and you're pressing it into the groove, and you're sort of dragging your thumb up just a little tiny bit. And what it does is it sort of mishes it into the tumbler. You see what I'm talking about? So, and you also notice like this is like almost flat into the tumbler, the way that I pulled it down. It's almost flat in there. So that's really going to adhere into all those little scratches and grooves that are there. So when it bakes, it's gonna, it's actually going to be a really good seal on it, and it's not going to pop off. And then once you get your epoxy on, it'll be great. So I hope that this was good for you all. This is our tumbler for today. This little purple and green guy, so cute. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Next week, I will be here on Friday. Not sure exactly what I'm doing yet. What I had planned to do, actually somebody else did. So I wanted to try and find something really cool for the last tutorial before the holiday. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, spending part of your day with me. I'm Carrie Spencer, and if you have any questions, send me a message. Bye-bye now.